Hey guys, welcome to HNS Academy. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a Google form. So this is going to be a quick tutorial on the Google Forms and how you can use those to create your quizzes or surveys or some kind of event registration sheets. So let's see how you can create a form. So first thing you need to do is to search for Google Forms. And you'll get this first link. Just open it up, and here you'll have the option to go to Google Forms. So just click on that, and here we are in the Google Forms page. And as you can see, we have a bunch of templates available with different options. If you click on this option over here of template gallery, if you click on that, it gives you some more templates to use as well. These are the usually you will get the ones on the top which have been recently used by you, but down there you have multiple categories for personal usage, for work, and also for education. Educational ones are usually the more famous ones, where you can create quizzes, you could create assessment, worksheet, etc. Work ones are good as well. You could create job applications, etc. with these. So we're going to start with the blank one for now, and let's see how we can create a basic form. So once you click on a blank form, you'll get this page over here. You might get some notifications. You can just ignore those for now. So here we are on a blank untitled form. What you can do here is, if you click over here, you can name this form. Let's call this a sample, and you could add a description as well. Let's say just name this HNS Academy. You could add some detail over here that or you could possibly change the name to HNS Academy and then add some information that it's about tech and informational content. So you can name it over here by clicking on the untitled form as you will get it initially. Just rename it, and then you can add some description depending on your individual requirements, and underneath it you have a question. So here you can add your own questions. You can add some details over here. Let's call this first question, and instead of this you could add some random text over here as well, which you want as a question. And then just in front of that you have this little icon where you click on it and you can add an image. Now to add an image, you have multiple options. You can either use camera, you could use a URL, photos, Google Drive, Google image search. So you could simply upload a file from your computer, or you could use the Google image search to put up a random image or something which is related to your particular question. So you could add an image, and then in front of that you have different options of what kind of answer you're looking for. So you could have an answer in the shape of multiple choice. You could do checkboxes, drop down. So these are different options. You could also go for the option of short answer or paragraph, and you could also give them the option to upload a file as well. If you want something, you're looking for a file to be uploaded as an answer, you could do that as well. So underneath it you have some other options as well. So you could use these as per your individual requirements. Here you could add some options of how many questions. If it is a multiple choice, you could give them different 3 to 4 options depending on you. Underneath over here we have another option of required. So this is usually useful, like if you have 10 questions and you want all of those to be answered, you could click on this option, keep it checked for each of the questions, and this way all the questions would have to be answered before they leave the form. So this way it adds a static with that particular question where you check this box that this particular question is required to be filled, so they can't leave that empty. So this is another way of doing this. Now, after you've added a question, you can either, if you want another similar question, you can simply duplicate it, or if you want to add a new question in a different way, then you could simply click on the plus icon over here on the side, and that will add a new question, and then you can add in the text and everything again as per your individual questions. So after that, we have some other options over here on the side. Let's have a look at these. So second option is to import the questions. What you could do is, if you've created a form already, and let's say it's a question paper for a class, and you want to create another paper, and you want to bring some questions from a different paper as well, what you could do is you could simply click on the import questions option, and this way it will give you the option to select a form. You can select a form. Usually when you have different forms created, you would have that form show up over here. You can simply click that and then click on select, and that way you can pull out all the questions from that particular form. So this is a very handy option. Next, we have the option to add title and description. You could add the title and description. We have already added on top, but if you click if you're on a particular question and you want to add some further details to that question only, then you could do that for each individual question as well. Next, we have the option to add an image. If we click on that, it will give you the option to simply insert an image as we discussed before. Underneath it, you also have the option to add a video as well, and then underneath that you also have the option to add another section as well inside that quiz or question paper. So you could add another section as well. So these are some tools which are available on the side, and you could incorporate these as per your requirements. So this is how you can create some simple form. Next to that, we have the responses option. So once you've filled the form and you've sent it to different people, you will get all the responses over here. Once they start to send out the responses, and those responses will show up over here once you receive those from the recipients. And here you have the options to check this. Once you check this, you will get the email notifications once the responses start to come through. And you can also select the destination where you want those to be saved. Once you have all the responses, and if you want to download those onto your computer, you could use this option to download responses as a CSV file, which is an Excel form. So you could do that as well. So these are all the basic things which you have and the tools which you can use. Now, other than that, we have some options on the top here as well. Once we have created a form, and if you want to check how it looks when you'll be sending it to the people, you can click on this option of preview here, and that gives you a preview of how the form will look to other people on the other side. So this is a good handy tool that you can check all of your content before sending it over to the people. And another good thing is you can also change the theme of your form. Let's say you want to add an image on the top. Here it gives you some templates over here. So let's say we want to add this picture. You simply click on that and then click insert, and now you'll see that this picture gets added on top as a header. So you could choose a picture as per your own taste. So underneath it, you have some options of theme color. Here, as you can see, by default it would give you a color which is similar to the theme inside your picture in the header, and you could choose a background color as well. So you can play with this as per your own taste. If you don't want to add a color which is just like the one in the picture, you could click on plus, and then you can choose color which is as per your requirements. You can change the slider, you can play with this, and then you can choose a color which suits your particular form. So this is how you can play with the theme. You can also change the font style as well. It gives you 4 options. You can either use a basic one, decorative, formal, or playful. Depends on what kind of form you're creating. You could choose a font size or a font style accordingly as well. So these are few options which are available under theme. Other than that, we have the settings option. If you click on that, here it gives you some options under the general tab. If you check this option of collect emails, all the people who would be filling out the form, their email addresses will be collected along with the forms as well. So you will know that this form was sent from this particular email. So this is handy if you want to collect the email addresses for a newsletter or something. After this, you have the option of response receipts. So this is something like when somebody fills out a form, they will get a receipt of their response, that they have submitted the response. So if you want that to be active, you could check that, and then you have a couple of options. If the respondent needs it, then they could request it, and only then it will be sent. Or you could just check it always, and then it will always be sent over. So this depends on your individual requirement. You could also check the option of limit to one response, that everybody would have to be logged in through their Gmail address or Google account to be able to fill out these forms. So this could also be checked. Next, you have a couple of other options as well, that if you want them to be able to add it more than once, then even after submitting, if they can edit their response, you could check this option. But if you don't want this, if you just want them to submit it once, then you don't need to check this option. So these are some options available. Next is the presentation. You have some options over here. Again, it all depends on your individual taste, how you want it. And then you have the option of quizzes as well. If you want to make this particular form a quiz, you can check this on the top. And then here it gives you some options that how you want to mark those questions or quiz. If you want this to be marked immediately, then you could check this option. Or if you want to review it manually by yourself, then that way you could check the second option, and that way you would have to go through each quiz manually, mark it, and then submit it. So everyone gets a result for their quiz. Underneath it, you can check the options of if you want people to see the missed questions, correct answer, point values, how the marking was done. If you want the respondent to be able to see that, then you can check all of these. Or if you don't want any of this, then you could uncheck as per your own requirements. So that's all there is inside a Google form. We have pretty much covered all the options. The only thing left is, once you're done with the form, you can click on this send button here, and then here it gives you the option to share it with people. Again, it gives you the option to collect email addresses. It's optional. You can share it on Facebook, Twitter. You can email it to somebody, and then you can check this option to include the form as an attachment. You could also add collaborators if you want. For example, you have a team, a few people who are working on the same form, then you could add collaborators to be able, and each of you can make amendments to this particular form. Or if you are you are a teacher or somebody who wants to create a question paper and you want another teacher to be able to make some changes as well, then you can add them as a collaborator. So this could be a good feature. You can also get a link to the form as well, and then you can share it manually on WhatsApp or wherever you want. And you can also embed the link to this particular form on your web page as well. So these are some options of how you can share this form with other people. So we have pretty much covered everything which is there in a Google form. So hope you've learned something useful today, and hope this was helpful for you. And now you're able to create a Google form by yourself. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.